Greetings everyone! I've never done this type of video before, so bear with me. Recently, the new trailer for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie came out, which debuted the Hedgehog's new look. I'm sure there are plenty of videos out there discussing the trailer, and I figure, what the heck, might as well throw my voice into the pot. Before we begin, if you're new to this channel, welcome! This is pretty much what I do. Summarize and analyze licensed work, with the bulk of my stuff being Sonic's printed adventures. Before we get to my thoughts on the new trailer, let's get this out of the way. What are my thoughts on Sonic's original design? You can firmly put me in the not a fan of it category. I assume the plan was to make Sonic more real. However, this resulted in a Sonic design that, let's be honest, was more catered to the bootleg community, not helped by the fact that, at this point, people saw Detective Pikachu footage, which had game-based designs interacting with real humans. And the first trailer didn't exactly fill me with confidence. Well, it seems there was enough backlash that the powers that be delayed the film until February of 2020, mainly to fix Sonic. And boy, what a fix. I mean, look at him. He now has his gloves, his iconic shoes, and more importantly, his face is Sonic-y. I don't have a problem with the blue arms since this isn't the first Sonic to have them. The person who was instrumental in Sonic's redesign is Tyson Hayes. In case you don't know who that is, he's the artist who worked on the opening for the game Sonic Mania, worked on the Sonic Mania Adventure shorts that you can find online, and has worked on official Sonic comics. Good move on getting this guy. Man, seeing the new movie Sonic next to the original movie Sonic makes the flaws of the latter stand out more. Though I bet there are some people that might have enjoyed the original design more. Now to me, new Sonic actually looks alive, which is helped by his voice actor, Ben Schwartz. He's done other voice work, most notably voicing one of the triplets in the 2017 DuckTales series, specifically Dewey, the adventurous one who wears blue. That's pure coincidence, I can assure you. Anyway, let's move on to the actual trailer. Keep in mind, what appears in the trailer doesn't exactly mean it'll appear in the movie, so what I say may or may not matter in the actual film. The trailer starts with Sonic doing what he does best, running around in Green Hill Zone. And wow, this rendition of the first Sonic level is amazing. It almost makes me want to boot up Sonic Generations so I can play through the level in HD again. As the trailer continues, a warp ring appears and Sonic leaves Green Hill Zone and ends up on Earth. I'm going to assume it's Sonic since there are scenes of him holding it and using it to travel from China to Egypt later in the trailer. Sonic using giant rings to travel to other places is nothing new for the Hedgehog. It's been a staple since Game 1. Usually when Sonic enters giant rings, it teleports him to a trippy dimension where he has a chance to earn magical rocks called Chaos Emeralds. The earliest case of a giant ring actually sending him to another location in the same world would be Sonic 3 and Knuckles, where Sonic can find glowy giant rings that send him to Angel Island's Hidden Palace Zone, where he can try to earn a Super Emerald. Afterward, he'll be sent back to the level where the ring's located. I say this because he'll eventually reach Hidden Palace on foot during a climactic event. What the movie is going for is a variation of the Warp Ring teleport seen in the Archie comics, going from one part of the world to another with ease, and in that continuity, supercharging a Warp Ring would allow you to cross dimensions. Makes you wonder, how did Sonic get his ring? Or rings, as I'll discuss later on. Could it always access the human world? Yeah, this movie is doing the Sonic world and human world thing that's apparently canon in the modern games now. It's nothing new for this franchise. The anime Sonic X had characters from Sonic's world ending up on Earth, albeit by accident. In the film's case, Sonic travels to Earth because people wanted his powers. We haven't met the main villain yet, and there are already those on his world that want his powers. By the way, the place he ends up on is Green Hills, Montana. I get what they're going for, but I should point out that there's a level called Green Hills Zone from the game Sonic the Hedgehog 2. That is, the 8-bit version. We then get a montage of Sonic goofing around with some more Easter eggs thrown in there. The sign used as a makeshift ping pong table says Hilltop, a shout out to the level from Sonic the Hedgehog 2. That is the 16-bit version. His bandana has the classic logo you see in the opening titles, and the musical background during the baseball scene is a rendition of Green Hill Zone.
To play Sonic. The pitcher's mound also Sonic.
Speaking of the baseball scene, this is when Sonic goes overboard on his speed, causing a blackout and getting the attention of certain parties. The first human to discover him, as far as we know, is Tom Wachowski, the sheriff of Green Hills, played by James Marsden. I've only seen him in the original X-Men trilogy and Superman Returns, so I'm not that familiar with his work. But it appears he's playing the straight man trying to grasp the oddity of a walking, talking blue hedgehog. Apparently they had time to bond since they go on the run together when the main villain appears, Dr. Robotnik, played here by Jim Carrey. Now this is someone I know all about, growing up watching his various roles on In Living Color, and his numerous films where he's wacky such as Ace Ventura, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber. And he has played over-the-top and hammy villains such as the Riddler in Batman Forever, and Count Olaf in a series of unfortunate events. Thus having him play Robotnik works for me here. In various media, Sonic's arch-nemesis has this odd mixture of seriousness combined with hamminess with a bit of goofy thrown in there. Carrie dancing a jig, yelling about a food item, as well as going into man-baby mode is so Robotnik here. Don't worry, he'll change from his black outfit to one inspired by the games when he directly engages Sonic, presumably near the end of the film. It is odd seeing Robotnik with hair on top of his head, given that previous variations depict him as bald. Maybe he'll lose it later or something. The mustache is alright. I do like the handlebar look of it, though it would be nice to have it bigger and bushier. Alright, according to this trailer, the rest of the film appears to be your standard on the run plot as Sonic and Tom are trying to get away from Robotnik and his drones. The reason Robotnik, who at this point is working for the government, is after Sonic is because of his powers. If Sonic is stripped of his powers, they can conquer the universe. Sonic's words, not mine. Now that's a little overdramatic there, Sonic. You're fast, and spin dashing does do considerable damage, but conquering the universe with your speed? No. Unless this version of Sonic is on the same level as the Infinity Stones or something. Although there are times when Sonic is glowing, especially when he's speeding, and Robotnik looks like he's analyzing a piece of Sonic at one point, so he's the living embodiment of the Speed Stone, and I don't think the Chaos Emeralds are a thing in this film, as far as we know. I have read somewhere that part of the on the run thing involves Tom and Sonic recollecting the latter's rings. I guess he had more than one. If all of them are warp rings, then yeah, that could be a bit of a problem. This also ties nicely with Sonic lore. In the first game, you need to collect 50 rings to access the giant ring that'll take you to the trippy special stage at the end of a level. Well, you can't include everything in the trailer. Going back to the on-the-run stuff that we do see, we get all the usual hijinks, including trouble at a bar and motel shenanigans. Things appear to get serious when Robotnik directly gets involved. Hey, that's another thing that fits in with Robotnik's character, using machinery to directly attack Sonic. Of course, at this point, Tom and Sonic are friends, yada yada yada. So let's get more into the action stuff at the end of the trailer. Robotnik uses his flying machine to engage Sonic all over the world, as we see them travel through a city, then Egypt, and then the Great Wall of China. Though the last two should have been switched as Sonic uses the warp ring while on the Great Wall, and you can clearly see the pyramids on the other side. Hey, that's how they edited the trailer together. And seeing Sonic boosting along the Great Wall, oh yeah, he has that ability too, makes me want to pull out Sonic Unleashed now. I have a feeling Sonic will return to his world in the end, and Robotnik, who's become obsessed with Sonic at this point, will follow and set up shop there. The trailer ends with Sonic interacting with a real dog. Wouldn't be the first time this happened, and that's it really. There'll be some things I probably missed in the trailer, and if I have, let me know. But I'm pretty sure I've covered what I need to cover. Will I see the film in theaters? Yes, but at a matinee showing. Look, it's a video game film, and video game films vary in quality. There are some that I find to be guilty pleasures, and I hope this film falls into that same category. I'm also going to see it in theaters because, well, going back to what I said about the delays and redesigning of Sonic, they could have stuck to their guns and kept the first design. The fact that they took the time needed to fix Sonic so that he looks like Sonic earns them some respect from me. Now, if you're going to see this film, either in theaters, DVD, or a streaming service down the line, just make sure you know what you're dealing with. We're not talking about a high-quality Pixar film. This is Sonic the Hedgehog. If you know what Sonic is all about and set the bar to that level, I think, in some fashion, you'll have a good time. Thank you for watching my trailer review, and I hope you all have a good day. Man, now I want to see Sonic race the Flash. Oh shoot, which version of the Flash? Which version of Sonic? You know what? I'll just say all versions and move on.